All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive
Okay.
into a topic that I think is super important, and that's how to help young people escape
Yeah.
poverty and violence.
Right.
Yeah.
Huge topic. A tough topic, no doubt.
For sure.
But we've got a really interesting press release from the U.S. Department of Labor.
Okay.
And they're announcing that they're going to be awarding like $46.5 million in grants to tackle this issue.
That's a lot of money.
It is. 14 different organizations are going to be getting some of that money.
Okay.
Spread across 12 states and Washington, D.C.
Gotcha.
So I'm really curious to see how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, me too.
So let's get into it.
Right.
So the press release, it focuses on two main programs.
Okay.
Growth opportunities
Mhm.
and reentry employment opportunities.
Yeah.
So growth opportunities aims to help young people who are living in communities that are affected by violence.
So like gun violence.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got the reentry employment opportunities program, which targets youth who were formerly incarcerated.
So trying to help them get back on their feet after they've been in the justice system.
Yeah, give them the tools they need to be successful.
Right. Right.
So two really distinct programs, but with the same goal of like breaking down the barriers
Yeah.
that keep these young people kind of stuck
In these tough
in
situations.
tough situations.
Yeah.
But the press release also gives this kind of scary statistic.
Okay.
Adolescents exposed to firearm violence are twice as likely to commit a violent act within 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So
That-
it's like really urgent.
Yeah, that's really serious.
We need to do something about this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the money part.
Okay, yeah. How much are we talking exactly?
$46,494,726.
Wow, they really got specific with that number.
They did, going to those 14 organizations we mentioned.
Right.
And some of these grant recipients really stuck out to me.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
The Fresno Area Workforce Investment Corps in California, they're getting $2 million.
2 million.
Yeah, and then over in Washington, D.C., the National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation
Okay.
got a whopping $5.1 million.
5.1 million for the Restaurant Association. I'm curious, what's the connection there to youth violence?
I know, right? What are they going to do with that?
Yeah, what are they going to be doing?
And then you've got Goodwill Industries of Kentucky in Louisville getting almost $2 million.
So we've got workforce development, we've got restaurants. What else? It sounds like they're trying to cover a lot of bases.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about like giving money to anybody. It's about these organizations that have these really unique approaches.
Right, different ways of tackling the problem.
And different expertise, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think the big question is like, what does success actually look like for these programs?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah, because we keep talking about breaking these cycles.
Right.
But how do you actually measure that?
Like, how do you know if it's really working?
Yeah.
And what does that look like for the young people in these programs?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know.
So I guess that's something we're going to have to dive into
For sure.
after the break.
Sounds good. So are we ready to get back into it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
We were just talking about the programs and how complex they are and all
Yeah.
the challenges and stuff, but I think it's like easy to forget
Yeah.
that we're talking about real people here
Absolutely.
with real lives.
It's about people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does success actually look like
Right.
for someone in one of these programs?
Yeah, like what does it actually mean for a young person to be successful in this context?
Yeah. Is it just about getting a job?
Well, a job is important, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it provides financial security and, a sense of purpose.
Right. Stability.
Right. But it's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
It's like you need skills and resources
Yeah.
and support to like build a whole life.
So it's bigger than just like, I got a job.
Way bigger.
I'm a success now.
It's about empowering these young people,
Yeah.
giving them real opportunities.
But then how do you scale that up?
Right.
How do you replicate that in other places?
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Because like what works in one place
Yeah.
might not work somewhere else.
Totally for communities.
Exactly. So you can't just copy and paste,
Right?
but you can share ideas
Yeah.
like best practices.
Like what worked for you, maybe it'll work for me.
Right. And like maybe the National Restaurant Association,
Yeah.
they could share their training program
Oh, that's a good idea.
with other cities
Yeah.
or the Fresno group.
Yeah.
They could share how they connect with businesses
Right.
to create these like custom training programs.
Yeah.
So it's about building a network where
Right.
people can learn from each other.
And help each other out.
Exactly.
But even then,
Yeah.
you've still got all these
Well,
challenges.
tons of challenges.
Bureaucracy and
Right.
building trust and
And measuring success.
yeah, how do you know?
Like, are these programs actually making a difference?
Right. Are we just looking at numbers?
Yeah, you can look at numbers.
Yeah.
But that doesn't tell the whole story.
No, it's about the individual people.
Exactly. You got to listen to their stories.
Yeah.
See how their lives are changing.
Right.
Are they feeling more hopeful?
Are they actually better off?
Yeah. Are they building relationships?
So it's like a much bigger picture
It's about the whole person
than just like, did they get a job?
and their whole community.
Yeah. So what does that look like
Right.
on a community level?
So imagine a community
Okay.
where fewer young people experience violence.
Okay. So like safer streets.
Safer streets. Yeah. And more jobs
Yeah.
and a better future for everybody.
That's the goal.
That's the dream.
But it's hard.
It's really hard.
What are some of the things that make it so hard?
Well, you've got poverty,
Yeah.
racism,
Lack of education.
lack of health care,
These are like huge.
huge problems that have been around for a long time.
Right.
So you can't just fix them overnight.
It's like this web of interconnected problems.
Exactly. And it needs a much broader solution.
So it's not just about these programs.
Right.
It's about everything else.
Everything else, too.
That's kind of overwhelming
It is a lot.
to think about.
But we have to think about it
Yeah.
because these programs can't do it all.
Yeah. They're just one piece of the puzzle.
One piece of a very big puzzle.
So how do we make sure
Yeah.
that they're actually effective?
I think accountability is key.
Okay, what does that mean?
So these organizations have to be transparent
Okay.
about their goals and how they're spending the money.
So we know what they're doing.
Right. And what impact they're having.
So they can't just take the money and run.
Exactly. They have to show results.
Right.
And they have to be willing to adapt
Yeah.
if things aren't working.
Be flexible.
Be flexible.
Exactly. So it's like a constant process of learning and improving.
It's a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
I like that.
And it's a journey we have to take together.
So it's not just about the organizations, it's
Right.
about all of us.
All of us working together.
Okay, so we've talked about the programs,
Yeah.
the money,
The challenges.
the impact,
It's a big picture.
but I want to go back to something you said earlier
Okay.
about the human element.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're talking about real people here.
Absolutely.
With real stories.
And those stories are powerful.
Yeah.
They remind us why this work is so important.
So how can our listener get involved?
How can they be a part of this?
How can they help?
That's what we're going to talk about next.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so, we've been talking about all these challenges and like the need for systemic change.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But I think it's important to remember that there's also a lot of hope out there.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about that. Like, how can our listeners actually get involved?
Right, because it's easy to feel overwhelmed, right?
Totally. Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah, and it's easy to think that you need to like make these big, grand gestures.
Yeah.
But honestly, even small things can make a huge difference.
Okay. Like what?
Well, first of all, I'd say just look around in your community.
Okay.
There are probably tons of organizations
Yeah.
that are already working on these issues.
Right. Like right in our backyards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are really struggling.
For resources.
Yeah, so even a small donation
Yeah.
or volunteering a few hours a month
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
can make a big difference.
Okay, so like get involved locally.
Yeah, and even just spreading the word.
Oh, yeah.
Telling your friends about these
I
organizations.
think that's a good point.
Sharing their social media posts, things like that.
So you're basically just raising awareness.
Exactly, because a lot of people just aren't even aware of these problems.
Right. And they don't know how to help.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got like volunteering and donating.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, think about the young people in your own life.
Okay, yeah.
Your kids, nieces, nephews, neighbors, anyone you know.
Right.
How can you be a positive influence for them?
So just being there for them.
Yeah, sometimes just listening to them,
Yeah.
offering some encouragement
Yeah.
can be incredibly valuable.
Like being a mentor.
Exactly. You don't need a fancy title
Right.
to be a mentor.
Just showing up.
Yeah, just being present in their lives.
Okay, so support local organizations,
Yeah.
be a mentor, anything else.
Well, don't forget about the power of advocacy.
Oh, yeah, getting political.
It can feel intimidating, I know.
Yeah,
But you don't have to be like a policy expert or anything.
right.
Just contact your elected officials.
Oh, okay.
Let them know that you care about these issues.
Yeah.
Support policies that promote opportunity and equity.
So, like, vote for the right people.
Exactly.
And speak out against things that are unjust.
Yeah, like if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Because real change requires collective action.
So we all have to work together.
Exactly.
Okay, so it sounds like there are a lot of ways to get involved.
Yeah, tons of ways, big and small.
From, like, volunteering our time
Yeah.
to, like, getting involved in politics to
Yeah.
just being a supportive person.
Right. And I think the most important thing
Yeah.
is to approach this work with a sense of hope.
Okay. Yeah, because it's easy to get discouraged.
Right. But we have to believe that change is possible
Yeah, I like that.
and that we all have a role to play in making it happen.
That was a good pep talk. I
Uh-huh.
needed that.
No problem.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah?
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Yeah.
We talked about all these programs funded by the grants.
Mhm.
What other creative solutions are out there?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, what else can we be doing?
I think we need to be thinking outside the box,
Okay.
exploring new partnerships.
Yeah.
Like, what if we partnered with tech companies
Okay.
to create digital literacy programs
Oh, that's a great idea.
for young people in these communities?
Yeah, because technology is so important.
It's essential these days.
Yeah.
Or what if we created mentorship programs
Okay.
that connected successful business leaders
Yeah.
with at-risk youth,
That's a really cool idea.
right? There are so many possibilities.
I love that.
It's just about being creative.
Yeah, and maybe our listener would
Yeah.
be the one to come up with the next big thing.
You never know.
That would be amazing.
That would be fantastic.
Well, we covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
I'm feeling inspired.
Me too.
I hope our listeners are too.
I hope so.
So until next time,
Yeah.
stay curious, stay engaged, and keep diving